Today's learning target is, I can make connections between two books or stories. A text-to-text connection. Have you ever been reading a story and suddenly you realize it's a lot like another story? Like this one time when I was reading Little Red Riding Hood and this mean old wolf came out of the woods? It reminded me of the story of the Three Little Pigs, because it has a mean old wolf in that story too. I made a text-to-text connection. When making a text-to-text connection, you have to ask yourself some questions. Question number 1, what does this remind me of in another book I've read? In my first example, I told you about how the one wolf reminded me of the other wolf because in both stories the wolf was the bad guy. Question number 2, how is this text similar to other things I've read? For example, in the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears, the number 3 comes up a lot. 3 things of porridge, 3 chairs, 3 beds. And in the story of the Three Little Pigs, 3 comes up a lot too. 3 houses, 3 pigs, 3 things blown over. Question number 3 is, how is this book different from other books I've read? The key word is different. You're looking for things that are not the same. One example of this is from this story of Little Red Riding Hood, where at the end, the wolf gets killed. But in this story of Little Red Riding Hood, the wolf runs away. That's different than in the other version. It's now time to catch up with Mr. Wyatt as he reads us another version of The Boy Who Cried Wolf and explains how it has a text-to-text connection with the other version we read. While he's reading, be sure that you're thinking of the things that are the same and different about this version as others, because reading is thinking. Hey guys, the story that we read the other day was The Boy Who Cried Wolf, and it was from this book. And I want to remind you that in this story of The Boy Who Cried Wolf, at the end of the story, the boy goes down to the village and the mayor scolds him. That means that he gets in trouble. So he gets scolded for telling lies, and he says, no one believes a liar even when he speaks the truth. We're going to be reading another version of this story today. It's called The Boy Who Cried Wolf, but before that, I found this really interesting one at the Friends of the Library, and it has basically the same story where a boy goes up and he yells for help, and the villagers come, and then he yells for help again, and they come, and they keep not finding the wolf, and then at the very end, look at this. Look at this. The wolf grabs the boy and runs away. Boy for dinner, grr, grr. And you think, oh, the boy's going to escape. But when I turn the page, look at this. Now they came running. And the boy wasn't there. And the people said, the boy tricked us again and again. When he told us the truth, we didn't believe him. And so in the end of this, the boy gets eaten. That is completely different than the ending of this, where the boy only gets scolded. So, right there, we already have a text-to-text connection. One ended with the boy just getting in trouble, and the other with the boy getting eaten by the wolf. Let's see if we can make some text-to-text connections with this version. This is called The Boy Who Cried Wolf, and it's by Tony Ross. And here we go. The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Once upon a time, a little boy lived on this side of the mountains, and his name was Willie. On the other side of the mountain, a wolf lived in the lap of luxury, and nobody ever asked his name. The wolf had fine manners for a wolf. Sometimes he put on his dinner jacket and came over the mountains for dinner. Look, he's chasing that guy. Because the wolf liked dining on people, everybody on this side of the mountain was afraid of him. So, now, I can stop here, and already I see some connections, text to text. Can you think of any? In both stories, there's a boy and there's a wolf. Those are two connections that we have. Whenever Willie had to do something he didn't want to, like take a bath, he would cry, "Wolf!" even if the wolf was nowhere to be seen, because everybody was afraid of the wolf. Willie was left alone to do what he wanted. Once a week, Willie went for his violin lesson because he hated his lessons. He cried wolf even though the wolf was not around. Let's stop here a moment and think again. What is a text-to-text connection? In this book here, Willie was bored, or he wasn't wanting to do something that he was being made to do. And so what did he do? He cried wolf, and then people came running. In this version of it, he cries wolf, and he gets out of doing something that he wanted to do. So there's some little similarities there, and some things that are not the same. When Willie was left alone to play the kind of music he liked, sometimes Willie even cried wolf just for the fun of it. One day, Willie was riding in the mountains when the wolf jumped out from the rocks. Oh, I'm already making a prediction. Make a prediction. What do you think's going to happen to Willie? "Wolf!" cried Willie, and he ran back to town crying "Wolf, wolf" all the way. "Wolf!" cried Willie, but his grandmother didn't believe him. Willie always cried wolf. "Tell me another one," she said. Gonna stop here again. Do you see some similarities? Do you see something that's the same in this story and in my other story? Are you seeing that nobody is believing him when he's crying wolf, even though there really is a wolf this time? They're the same. "Wolf!" cried Willie, but nobody listened. I wonder if he's going to get eaten, like in the other story. "Save me from the wolf!" shrieked Willie, but everyone laughed. "Willie's crying wolf again," they said. At last the wolf caught up with Willie. "You shouldn't have told so many lies," said the grown-up sternly. Oh, here's another similarity. In this story, he gets scolded, and right here, he's being scolded by those adults. Wonder what's going to happen. The wolf heard the grown-ups and changed his mind about eating Willie. Oh, so it's not like this version where the boy gets eaten, at least not yet. I wonder what's going to happen. He changed his mind about eating Willie, and he ate the grown-ups instead. So that's way different than these versions, because in this version, nobody got eaten, but the boy got in trouble. In this version, the boy got eaten, and no one else got in trouble. In this version, the adults all get eaten. So see, there are some things that are different about these stories, but there are things that are the same too, like there being a wolf, and there being a boy, and all the lying that went on. So there are some text connections. Then, he changed his mind again and ate Willie for dessert. C'est la vie. So at the end of this version of it, it ends a lot like this version of it, where the boy and the wolf get eaten. I'm sorry, the boy gets eaten by the wolf. Well, how about that? So, we have now read 3 versions of The Boy Who Cried Wolf. In all 3, the boy did some lying, like in this one, but in this one, at the end, he was okay, although he got scolded. In this one, he lied, just like in this one, Texas X connection, but at the end he gets eaten. And in this one, he lied, and at the end, not only does he get eaten, but the adults get eaten. There are things that are the same about these, and there are things that are different about these stories. And no matter what story you like the best, I hope that you enjoyed hearing these stories about The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Have a good day. Oh, one more thing. When you're reading your own stories, be sure that you're thinking about them and think about how they connect to other stories, because reading is thinking. Goodbye.